Central Minnesota Sports Hub. It's the Morning Sports Desk, presented by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and streaming on YouTube.
The Morning Sports Desk on a Monday, the 20th of January. I'm CJ Baumgartner, Corey Tackman over there. Zeke joining us as well for some grid posting on the Morning Sports Desk, powered by Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. We're going to be doing an immaculate grid here today, and as excited as I am to be doing that, we got to wait just a little bit longer. Corey, you got some nice words to say about the good folks at Pizza Ranch in Wadena and the FunZone Arcade. Tell us a little bit more.
Well, it's really straightforward. If you like pizza, and I do, and if you like chicken, which I do, and mashed potatoes, and you like a really good salad bar, and you just like your belly full of delicious food, well, the Pizza Ranch is your hookup as always. Not only can you stop in and eat the buffet, you can order it for delivery, you can order it for takeout, and they're going to treat you right, obviously, with your meal plans, lunch, dinner, whatever it is. And then, obviously, you have to stop into the FunZone Arcade with unbelievable prizes, right? We've talked about that Justin Jefferson signed helmet that was given away. They give away mystery autographed jerseys and mystery autographed sports memorabilia. There's things like fish radars and kayaks and giant stuffed animals, and it's kind of an endless opportunity of fun, and it's not just for kids. It's for adults to step in and see. There's coin pushers. There's the Godzilla VR, which I will never stop talking about how cool that thing is. You have to try it. When I went there, by the way, to try the Godzilla VR, Zach goes with Pizza Ranch. He goes, "Have you ever done one of these before?" And I go, "Yeah, one time, and I got sick." And he goes, "Oh, don't do that now." It's a trip, man. Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. Have your party there. Just have lunch there. Meet your friends there. Eat by yourself. We're all friends when we're at the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena.
All right, here we go. It's time for a little grid posting today, and we check out Immaculate Grid. So here we go. This is what it's looking like here if we get it added onto the screen. There we go. Today's Immaculate Grid. And are you guys able to see this? Should I zoom out a little bit more?
Yep, I can see it.
Looks good.
Okay, perfect. So, Corey, explain to the good folks at home how an Immaculate Grid works if they're not watching on YouTube, which they should.
You have three categories across the top: Boston Red Sox, the Baltimore Orioles, and a 300-plus average season batting. You also have three categories down the side: Tampa Bay, the Phillies, and played first base a minimum of one game. You're just trying to find the common entity between those two things where they crisscross on the grid.
All right, Zeke, you're our guest. You haven't done an Immaculate Grid in a minute, neither have I. I'm guessing Corey hasn't either. But we'll let you kind of take a first crack at it. What do you see here?
Hold on, Zeke. Hold on. Are we going for a sicko score here, or are we just trying to get it right?
That's a good point. Zeke, what are we going for?
Both?
I don't know. We haven't done it in a while. I say we try and go for the Immaculate.
Go for the Immaculate? Okay, might as well.
Yeah, you might as well. We're not going to come in right away like swinging for the fences. We want to get like a double or a single to kind of like get us in the groove before we.
Yeah, it's been a while. I think I have some good ones worked out here, but it's been a while. I know Nick Punto played for both the Phillies and the Red Sox.
Oh yeah, Nick Punto. It's a
good.
I have a Boston Tampa Bay. How about Rocco Baldelli?
Yeah, he was. He did play for both of those.
That's right, because the only one I had for Boston Tampa Bay was Carl Crawford.
Didn't Manny Ramirez play for the
Manny
Rays?
Was there. Steve Pierce played for both.
All right, which one are we more sure about for that one? Which one do we want to put in there?
I mean, if you're sure about any of I think Carl Crawford will not be a sicko score one. So we should go with one of the more random.
Yeah, go with Go with Rocco.
Rocco.
We'll give him some.
I like Rocco. Have you ever seen that guy in person? He's a giant.
That guy's huge.
Yeah.
He was like what, 2 draft picks behind Joe Mauer? 1 draft pick behind Joe Mauer?
Dunking in 9th grade.
Yep.
2%. Look at this baby-faced Rocco.
I have no memory
beard.
of being a Red Sox.
He played for Boston like 1 year. And then we're back to Tampa.
Okay. Cool.
Wasn't much.
All right.
I mean, the Philly Oriole, has to be Jim Thome, right?
Could also be Delman Young.
Delman was with the Phillies? Goodness gracious. You guys are going to crush
For a hot minute, he was a Philadelphia Philly. Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. When
you think Baltimore Orioles, you think Delman Young.
Of course.
Did like Ben Revere ever make it over to Baltimore? Did JJ Hardy ever see any time with the Phillies?
He wasn't a Philly, no.
Or like Brian Roberts. Remember Brian Roberts was a second baseman for a while for the Orioles.
Did Felix PA play for Philadelphia?
Felix PA.
Woof.
What was the first one you said there, Zeke?
Delman.
Delman's that's gonna be gross.
We ready to put in Delman, Zeke?
I'm very confident.
All right, here we go. Delman Young, the one and only. Oh, look at that sicko pull, Zeke.
Love it.
0.5.
Great job.
They don't even
have the Twins hat.
They just have the Twins hat, just to remind us.
Yeah.
It'd be too bad if that was if he hit 300 for the Phillies that year, because that'd be.
I can guarantee he did not.
He
Okay.
hit 300 in a contract year, and he got 10, and then that was it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, a Philly and a Red Sox. Doc Halladay played for the Blue Jays and the Phillies. He didn't play for anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Cole Hamels, I don't think ever went to Boston.
But no. Punto was there because we got Punto from the Phillies in the who did we give them? We got Punto and we got Carlos Silva for Eric Milton.
Oh yeah, yep.
So he was
Did he
there.
play it like for the Phillies major league team, or was he a minor leaguer?
I think he was with the big league club for a hot minute.
Okay. And Punto got traded because he was a part of that group with like Adrian Gonzalez and like one other guy that got traded from Boston or LA to Boston. It was like a big deal. Or Boston to LA. They got traded from Boston. Did Punto win a World Series? Not with the Red Sox in 13.
St. Louis, I think he got his.
That was where he won it in 11. Yeah. Nick Punto, World Series champion. Yeah.
Who saw that coming?
If Punto's the right answer, do it. That's gonna be pretty gross too, I think.
Here we go, Zeke. Nick Punto. First one that pops up. Oh, look at that.
I love these. By the way, this is the only way for me to be good at this is for it to be former
Twins.
Yeah,
they're all former Twins.
Somebody in the division that the Twins always played. Like that's right. Yeah, it's got to be something along those lines. We're doing pretty darn good. Like we could just get generic things the rest of the way, and our sicko score wouldn't be that bad.
Pretty good, yeah. Because
Tampa Bay 300 plus average season. You think of Evan Longoria, obviously.
What is the hard one left? Is a Tampa Bay and is a Ray and an Oriole, right? Or do we have an answer for that one too?
Nothing off the top of my head.
Because if we have an answer for that, then we have a little time to kill on trying to think of someone off the beaten path for the 300 average or play.
I think I have an Oriole that's played one game at first base. How about Mark Trumbo?
He was a thing at one point.
He played for the Angels and then he played for the Orioles.
That's if I.
Otherwise, Jim Thome could.
But would have he played?
He wouldn't have played first. He would have just straight DH'd
first,
unless they were desperate.
Or was he with Baltimore when?
Were they playing an interleague team?
They're doing it. Would he have played a Sunday at first base for them in an interleague game? I don't know. But also it had to have been an interleague game at a National League stadium.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Nelson Cruz was an Oriole and a Ray.
Yes, he was.
If we want to stick with the former Twin.
I think so. I mean,
okay, do it.
Nelson Cruz, 18%.
The added element of there has to be those two categories plus a former Twin.
Plus a former Twin.
Plus a former Twin. How about a Red Sox who's played a minimum game at first base? Is there any Twins connections there?
David Ortiz.
Doug Minkiewicz.
Yep.
Out of spite, do we just want to make sure we put in Doug Minkiewicz to avoid the David Ortiz?
Well, there's a lot of guys, right? Euclid would be probably the most popular.
Didn't Euclid play third?
Euclid definitely played over at first base.
Yep. Yeah, he was both. Millar.
He was in the later part of his career, but then he got traded to the White Sox because then he was playing with Konerko.
You're right, but I have my immediate memories of Euclid as a first baseman.
He was both.
God walks.
Yeah, once Millar left, they moved.
How about Todd Walker? He played for Boston, didn't he?
He did.
With the Twins connection. He was mostly like a second baseman type, but I have memories of Todd Walker playing first base.
They usually bop him over there.
Would he have played one game at first base for the Boston Red Sox?
Or Sandy Leone? Did he ever make it to first base? He was a Twin for half a day. These ones are tough because,
like Mike Lowell. Did Mike Lowell ever go over there from third base to play first?
Right.
Imagine. Veritek ever sneak over there?
Right. I was thinking Doug Mirabelli. Did he get over there? Probably not. Not as long as Wakefield was still there. Usually my sneaky ones for Boston and Kansas City and St. Louis and Minnesota is Gary Gaetti, because he played everywhere in the infield at least once.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he was in Boston long enough to play he didn't play long in Boston.
Mitch Moreland. Mitch Moreland won the Gold Glove over Mauer in 2017 with the Red Sox first base.
Jared Saltalamacchia. Did he ever get over? Yeah, I always think catchers that just
you could go
for one inning popped over.
You could go back to a Mo Vaughn would have played over there.
Babe Ruth play a game at first base?
I doubt it. Well, when he was with Boston, he was pitching, right?
Well,
he pitched and then play outfield.
Does it technically count as the Red Sox continuity, or is it like the Boston Braves that he was technically?
He played for both of them. He was a Boston Brave his last year.
That's right.
I mean, whatever. You pick whatever you want. You're running the ship here. These are all correct answers, I'm pretty sure.
Zeke, you're the guest. You've had some good sicko pulls here.
If we're gonna stick with the Twins, I'd go Minkiewicz.
All right, here we go. Doug
Mientkiewicz, and that's how you spell Minkiewicz.
Bam, 5%.
Not bad.
That's not bad.
There we go. Weirdly, it's still the second highest that we've gotten today. Good pull. By the way, those Twins marketing, whoever did Twins commercials from like the late 90s to 2010-ish.
Twins, get to know them.
Just A1, 10 out of 10. Like, they weren't getting paid enough. Like, those commercials in the early 2000s are
Twins,
great.
Gotta see them.
Excellent.
Yep.
The one of Joe Nathan and Joe Mauer in Joe Mauer's parents' basement.
That's right.
Michael Kadire sawing Johan Santana.
Magic trick. Yeah.
Leary, who was it? It was Nathan and Santana driving, and one of them was like, it was like Joe Nathan's driving the car, and they just keep starting and stopping, and Santana's like, don't like it with you guys, always changing speeds. And then it was like, you just got to go fast, or maybe it was the other way around. I don't know. And then the other guy gets in, just lays the foot on the gas, and they just start cruising down the road.
I had the Kevin Love, Ricky Rubio Love Connection billboard commercial pop up on my TikTok the other day. where Kevin he's riding in a van or something, and all these love connection billboards that go by with a number to call, and it's Ricky Rubio or something like that?
Yep. And it's like, is this Ricky? He goes, no.
So
And
good.
then he hangs up the phone, and he goes, ooh,
No.
that's close.
Stands there awkwardly.
It had like the vibe of like a This Is Sports Center commercial, but it was done by the Wolves. It was perfect.
By the Wolves.
No, it was an ESPN commercial. It was like an NBA and ESPN commercial. So yeah, because it did have
it was.
vibe. So
it was.
All right.
To market those Wolves.
Did Danny Valencia play first base for Baltimore?
Ooh.
Oh, Danny.
And nobody was a bigger Danny Valencia believer in 2010 than I was. I thought that guy was legit.
Yeah, that was a bad take.
That was a bad take.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we'll always have the 2010 run. Don't ask me how he did after.
He became an immaculate grid wizard because he played for the A's and he played for the Royals and he played for the Blue Jays, I think.
Red Sox, I think, are in there. Like that guy.
Yeah, he was everywhere.
So Valencia would be a good pull. I just don't know if.
What's the stupid catcher's name? The Baltimore catcher.
Matt Wieters.
Did he ever play over at first?
I'm sure he did. He was hurt all the time.
I mean, outside of just saying Eddie Murray.
Yeah.
Harold Baines.
How's your guys' St. Louis Browns knowledge? Anybody know any St. Louis Browns first baseman? Because those ones count too here.
My St. Louis Browns information runs so deep that I just learned that there was a St. Louis Browns.
Okay.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Let's see. How about Robbie Alomar? Do you think he ever played over at first?
Ooh.
He was second base for forever with them. I think did he spit in somebody's face with the Orioles? Is that where he got in trouble for spitting on somebody? Or was that because the other two teams were Toronto and Cleveland? I think it was Baltimore where that happened. I mean, you could do Rafael Palmeiro here.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Chris Davis.
Yes.
Davis. I feel like Chris Davis will be the number one.
That would be pretty, except for who plays first base for them now?
Oh.
Rafael Palmeiro, for all I know.
It's some guy with blue eyes, blonde hair, and white as the driven snow. If it's anything like the Orioles' top prospect list.
Yeah.
It's not Ryan Mountcastle, is it?
It might be Ryan Mountcastle.
That's his name.
Yeah, that guy sounds like he should have played for the St. Louis Browns.
Yeah. I know Baby Doll Jacobson was a St. Louis Brown. I don't know if he's a first baseman or not.
All right, what are we doing? Corey, what do we got? Who's our Oriole that played a game?
I've already forgotten what our best options were.
Yeah, pull your weight here, Tackman.
I've done nothing but throw names. The problem is I haven't. I get them out and I forget what I've said. What are some of the ones that we've said?
Trumbo. We said Davis. We said Palmeiro. We said Murray.
The weird one here, right?
Trumbo's like, yeah, he played for them for a couple of years, like about 10 years ago.
Do it. I have nobody better than that. The rest of them are just guesses.
Ayo, 3 points.
Oh, only 3. Look at that.
You get credit for the name, but I take credit for picking it.
Mark Trumbo is a fun name to say. All I remember is Mark Trumbo when he played for the Angels. There was like a one hopper at Target Field, and he somehow snagged it with his glove. And I remember Bramer's call because he said, and I quote, "He's lucky to still have his teeth."
All right, Tampa Bay 300. And remind me, it has to be a 300
been done with the Rays,
with the Phillies, or as a first baseman.
Mm-hmm. So played one game as a first baseman at least, 300 plus average season. I mean, so the thing about played first base, does this mean he had to? It probably means he had to have had a 300 average season as a first baseman, correct?
No, it says minimum one game.
So Joe Mauer would theoretically work in that one.
Yep. They had to play one game at first base and also have at least one 300 average season.
Okay. So Justin Morneau, I mean, he had to have had one because Morneau won a batting title at some point in his career in Colorado.
Yep.
Trying to think of some other.
I mean, we already have Doug Mankiewicz. We fill out the line with the guy who beat him for a Gold Glove and John Olerud. Like that would be. There's so many good hitting first basemen.
It's a 300 average though. If you had like played first base that had 30 plus home runs, it's like just name anybody.
Darren Erstad. Remember him for the Angels?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a million. Tino Martinez probably hit 300. Certainly like Prince Fielder, Frank Thomas. I mean, there's a million of them here.
Or maybe this is where you pull out the Gary Gaetti card.
Did Gaetti have a season hitting above 300? Probably.
Maybe.
Presumably.
Is that what we're going with?
You're running the show, man.
I don't want to make a move without the peanut galleries. Let's go Gary Gaetti.
I'm not confident he did either of those things, but it could be fun if he did.
This is going to be great.
Here we go. Oh! 0.04.
The rat comes through again.
What a pull.
Woo!
Every once in a while, you forget why somebody was called what they were called, and then you see a picture of them, and you go, "Yep, they got that exactly right."
That's why he was called. That's why he was called the rat.
Look at that picture, man. That picture sucks.
That was on a baseball card. That kid's clean.
My Gary Gaetti, but that's brutal, dude.
That card went right to the bicycle.
Worst part is he's like 22 in that picture.
He looks 60.
22 in the 80s is 60 today.
He looks like he's going to manage the Twins AA affiliate.
That guy's got shine in the backwoods. You know what I mean?
He's killed a man.
I love it. All right, so Philly with a 300 average.
Yep, I mean Jimmy Rollins is one that comes to mind.
Chase Utley.
Do we want to go old and have a story time here?
Sure.
Yep.
Go Ed Delahanty.
Yes, perfect. Done.
Okay.
CJ said it. You tell me the story.
What's the story?
Okay, here's the story of Ed Delahanty. Ed Delahanty was a part of some really good Philadelphia Phillies teams back in the 1800s.
Okay.
Later in his career, got sick of them. He got cut and signed with the Washington Senators in 1902, I believe. And the Senators were bad in 1902 and 1903. In 1903, the Senators were on a road trip in Detroit, and he decided to leave the team and go beg for his job back in Philadelphia. On the way back, he got in a fight on the train that he was on, and he got kicked off and then fell off of a bridge and died.
Oh, my gosh.
And that's the story of Ed Delahanty.
I don't know where I was expecting that story to go, but I'm glad.
And his death is still a mystery. They don't know if he just fell off because he was drunk, or if he was suicidal, or if he got in a fight with somebody on the bridge. Maybe a hobo pushed him off. Nobody knows. They just found him floating in the in Niagara Falls beach area the next day. Never showed up to get his job back with the Phillies.
Ruined some poor family's vacation with his body washing up on the shore.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Hall of Famer, though. That's how good Ed Delahanty was.
Ed Delahanty played from 1888 to 1903.
He went on to own a radio station in Park Rapids, didn't he?
I think so.
I think that's him, yeah.
Guy?
Survey says yes, 0.8%. That number is shockingly high.
I thought so too.
How is that number way higher than Gary Gaetti?
Right?
It's way higher.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Guys, we are going to have a decent sicko pull and potentially an immaculate here.
That was an awesome story. I would like to apologize to the Delahantys for laughing. That really caught me off guard.
Why does that guy look like Daniel Jones?
Kind of does.
So who's our Devil Ray?
I mean, the Rays weren't a great organization for a long time, so I don't know if they really had anybody who hit 300 up until Longoria. And then, of course, you have the good run of players. Is it a Ben Zobrist in there?
Carl Crawford probably did. But then you have guys like Denard Span who could have freaking did it.
Or Delman Young.
Which we already used Delman, so we can't pull
that's
him.
right.
Have I ever told you my Tampa Bay Twins story? And when I was in college over the summer, me and a buddy, we'd go every Wednesday on like their student night. And there's nothing going on. We're in college. What else are you going to do? So we'd go in early to watch batting practice. And we'd always go stand in right field for BP because you could yell down at the bullpen guys. And we're like, hey, throw, just the annoying 20-year-old college. Throw us a ball. Hey, ball. Hey, ball. Hey. Just the worst things, right? And the Tampa, I couldn't tell you a single guy because they were awful. They look up at us and go, you tell us who our closer is, we'll throw you a ball.
Oh, no.
And we're talking like 2005-ish. Okay? So smartphones are a thing, but only just.
Yep.
My buddy pulls out his phone, and he looks it up, and we cannot find anywhere on the internet who their closer is. So we just yell out a couple of names, and they're like,
Rafael Betancourt. Was it Rafael Betancourt?
Don't know. We have no idea. We yelled out a bunch of names, and they looked up and they said no to like 3 different names. And there's 14 people in the Metrodome. We're there that early. And at the top of his lungs, he yells, well, it's because you guys suck so bad, you don't even know who your closer is. Anyway, they didn't give us a ball.
All right. The 2005 Tampa Bay Rays roster, Devil Rays roster pulled up here. What do we got? Pitcher.
I mean, I think your best bet is probably Carl Crawford. Certainly Evan Longoria. Did Jason Bartlett hit 300 for them? That'd be weird.
That'd be weird. But you got like Wade Boggs was there for a year. Fred McGriff.
I forgot.
Fred McGriff was there. Yeah. So there could be that weird outlier guy.
But it had to be as a Ray.
Mm-hmm.
So I would imagine. Boggs maybe because that dude was just. He's one of the like 5 best hitters of all time.
Or Jose Canseco was there for a year or two.
Corey, do you want to know the answer for the 2005 Rays?
Sure.
Danis Baez.
Yeah.
He played
didn't know it.
The Indians, the Rays, the Dodgers, the Braves, the Orioles, and his last season was in 2011 and 2010 with the Phillies.
Did he hit 300 in a season?
No.
Did not.
I don't know if he got the minimum at-bats required to be on the list.
Wade Boggs might be that. I really like that a lot. I mean, just who is a better hitter ever than him? You know what I mean? There's not many guys you can say that about.
Are we pulling Wade Boggs for the win?
Not yet.
Not yet. He was pretty run down at that point. I don't know.
Right.
They retired his number, but I remember he didn't deserve to have his number retired in Tampa based on anything he did there.
He was by that point, he was so. The legend of Wade Boggs' drinking ability is.
Yeah, and eating chicken before games.
Yeah. Let's see. Who else? I mean, we know we have right answer.
We have a base in the hole.
Yeah, we do.
Zobrist is fun. Steve Pierce. I mentioned Steve Pierce for Tampa Bay Boston. He broke out in Tampa Bay before he became Steve Pierce. How about I'm just trying to think.
Gomez didn't hit 200 or 300 in.
Oh yeah, he was there too.
No way.
There's no way he hit 300, but he was on.
No, he played for him.
How about like someone like Juan Pierre? Did he ever play for Tampa? He played for everyone.
He played for the Marlins.
Yeah. Well, Juan Uribe.
Randy Rosarena, did he get 300?
I mean,
when it wasn't the playoffs.
Oh, it's so tough to guess modern players because batting average is so different now. You're like, that guy's a good hitter, and then he looks like, oh, he had 250.
And I can't pull an Ed Delahanty out of my butt because the franchise is only 30 years old.
Right.
Right. The best you could pull out is a Scott Kazmir.
Yeah. Ooh, Scott Kazmir was good back in the day, though.
So good.
Manny probably didn't do it.
How about one of the Uptons? Which Upton played?
BJ Upton.
BJ Upton.
I cannot pin down a single really infielder for them.
Well, and the thing about Tampa Bay that's so tough as an organization is they are like so analytically forward that they don't care. Their franchise, I don't think since Joe Madden took the job, has cared about a 300 hitter. Like I think it's like they're just like, we are Oakland on steroids with how we approach our organization. And so it's not even the fact that they probably do have some 300 hitters in there, but you just don't know who they are because it's Tampa Bay.
They were so bad for so long.
Some no-name waiver claim, they got to hit 300 for a year, and then they traded him to Detroit for spare parts, and now all of a sudden he's falling apart.
Like a Jan Gomes or
like a
Mike DeFelice.
That.
Gosh. It's awesome. Easily the most fun about this game is just remembering
people.
Uh-huh.
Kevin Cash, he caught for them, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm fine. I'm fine with taking a layup here. If the goal is to get it all right, otherwise, reaching for a Wade Boggs or something like that is probably fine. But I think
he just kind of wants to take the layup because we're so close.
There's a lot of decimal points out there, though. We have a 0.04 on here, boys.
Yeah, I think take it. Just take Longoria, and we'll take victory formation into this one.
No way!
Oh, he didn't do it.
No! No! There is no way. No way. How? Evan Longoria, you've made an enemy for life.
How did he not?
He made 3 All-Stars, 2008 to 2010, where he hit 272, 281, and 294. Okay. Now I'm going to look up Wade Boggs.
Oh, my gosh.
Wade Boggs.
Who are you looking up? I'll look up Carl
Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
I have the list here.
You guys.
There have been 65 players to hit 300 for the Rays.
1999. Wade Boggs was 41 years old. The final season of his Major League Baseball career, he hit 301.
God dang it!
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Carl Crawford did it 5 times.
That was the easiest one on the board.
Handful of guys have done it twice. Harold Ramirez, Yandy Diaz, Wade Davis, who's a pitcher. Andy Sonestein, James Shields, who's a pitcher. Aubrey Huff.
Yeah.
Oh, bummer, dude.
Mike DeFelice, Tony Graffinino, Fred McGriff have done it twice.
Did it too?
Twice.
Wow.
Then you have a whole bunch of just other guys, a lot of whom I've never heard of. Tommy Pham, Jake Odorizzi did it. Steve Pierce did it.
How many
JP Arenci?
Gracious.
This is what we talked about with Tampa Bay. They have a ton of guys who probably have hit 300, but you have no idea who they are because they're all pop-up seasons.
Jeremy Hellickson, Chris Jimenez, Tim Beckham,
Twins legend,
Casey Kochman, Jason Bartlett, David Price.
Bartlett did do it.
BJ Upton, Scott Kazmir did it. Edwin Jackson did it. Julio Lugo, Ray Ordonez, Joe Kennedy did it. Chris Gomez, Esteban Yan, Wade Boggs.
We fumbled this thing harder than the Wolves and the Wild fumbled.
Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh.
Jorge Cantu, Delman Young.
Delman Young did it?
Delman, one time. Yep.
Oh.
Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day, everyone.
All right. Well, this is a bummer, guys. Let's go home. This has been the Morning Sports Desk, powered by Pizza Ranch and the FunZone Arcade in Wadena. Hopefully you have a lot more fun playing games there than you do playing games with us here today. Oh my gosh. There's somebody who's probably screaming the right answer out at us all episode.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. See you guys next time.
Powered by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Follow the Morning Sports Desk on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And watch every show on YouTube.